kind of been an issue both games for you guys. Are you seeing anything coming out of the half, or it seemed like the first couple minutes of the half wasn't
turnovers? You said?
Third quarter has just been the issue. Have you seen any consistencies between the two of why the game got away both times there?
I'll say probably the turnovers and then just holding them to one shot. They got a bunch of 50-50 balls, offensive rebounds, and they was just getting multiple possessions with the ball, more possessions than we did.
You shot the ball really well tonight. A lot of others didn't. Is there something with their defense that makes it difficult on these threes? Or you think it's just been a couple poor shooting nights?
I would say it's just poor shooting nights. I'll say they kind of short closing a little bit, so we just got to not think twice and just let it fly, really, and just be confident in what we do.
Jen, from just a big picture standpoint, down 0-2, going homeless, what's kind of the mentality after two tough losses here?
We got to be desperate. Every possession counts, matters. Every game, everything matters. So we just got to be super desperate and just play smart while we are.
On the flagrant with Shea, was there just a little frustration boiling over, or what kind of happened?
I just wanted to foul him for. I wasn't even mad. I just had fouls to use.
How did, in the fourth quarter, you guys did start to get back into it a little bit. What do you think you found there that you can build on going forward?
Probably just getting the ball out of Shea's hands early. And then when we did get the rebound, just not waiting, just everybody running and just attacking the gaps that they give us and being aggressive. I feel like we start the game that way. I feel like we can, give ourselves a chance to win the game.
Julius has been so good for you guys all playoffs. A little rough night tonight. How do you kind of withstand that when he's just not having one of his usual nights here?
More of us got to step up. He's one of our top players, so if he's not doing well, other guys, we just got to come in and contribute and really just fill the absence. But, I'm not stressing off it. Drew, I see him work out every day and put the work in, so the nights happen. Like last night, he had a great game, so it just happens.
The formula you just described at the end of the fourth quarter tonight is exactly how you guys won that game here earlier this year. What are the keys to playing that way when you guys have bigger lineups out there earlier in the games?
We just got to run, and just get out of each other's way, have a good spacing, when we're running the court, make sure our corners are filled, or if Rudy's in the dunker's field, and we just got to have the right space and be in the right spots early just in case our teammates need outlets.
Jane, with the way that they've shot it from two, is it kind of deflating? You guys are sometimes playing good defense, but, they just start getting to those spots and almost knocking everyone down.
Yeah, that's kind of like the shots they want. I know, the world or the NBA says mid-range isn't alive or it's a dead thing, but that's the shots they like, and that's the shots they're comfortable with. So we just got to really keep them out the paint and out the two-point range.
How do you keep guys out of that 10-foot, 14-foot range when they run so much pick and roll?
It's hard. We just got to be on the same page of whether we're switching or me and Rudy breaking off. But you just got to be in the ball, and it's kind of hard. But you just gotta keep fighting, keep pursuing and stuff.
You have to mix up coverages at some point.
Yeah, go under, or sometime how we did at the end, kind of high wall, putting two people on them. Yep. Thank y'all.
Feeling out there, what's happening coming out of the break that is allowing them to pull away?
I don't know. I got to look at the film. I don't want to say. We had a stretch there towards the end where I felt like we turned it over too much. But I got to look. I think they really got the lead in the end, if I'm not mistaken. But I got to look. I'll figure it out.
Julius, what is it about that team that both third quarters, once they got going downhill, it was just so hard to stop it?
It just seems typically every time we play them this year, that's usually when they turn up their pressure. So, we got to meet their aggression.
Not often that we've seen you struggle with your shot here in the playoffs. Just what were you feeling out there, and in terms of what got you out of rhythm?
Just a lot of out of rhythm things. I think for the most part, probably just standing, spectating a little bit too much. I got to get myself into actions, get myself on the move. What type of defense they are. They're going to swarm me. So, I got to get myself into action, setting screens, on the move. I think I was just standing, spectating a little bit too much today.
Finchie was saying after game one that he wanted to call more stuff for you in the second half. Is it the matter of kind of him dictating from the sideline, or is that you kind of just initiating in that way?
Yeah, I mean, I think it can be both. But, you know, for myself as a player, you know, I got to take responsibility and be like, all right, I need to, you know, see how the flow of the game is going. And like I said, just, you know, get myself in some type of action, whether it's screening, cutting, rebounding, you know, try to get some early seals, running the floor. You know what I mean? But I'll figure it out, and I'm not too worried about it.
Julius, Ant was more aggressive with his shot in this game. Seemed like you guys were playing through the post with him a little bit more. What did you like about his sort of offensive process in this game?
Yeah, it seemed like, you know, he was able to really get in rhythm, attack the paint a little bit more and get downhill. I don't know how many threes he shot today, but, you know, I mean, I feel like all of them were good looks, but I felt like he was really aggressive getting downhill, which was good. Next game, man. Next game mentality. We got a game on Saturday, a chance to, you know, get, you know, in the win column in the series at home. So we know what's at stake in this series and what we got to do and how we got to be better. So, you know, good thing is we get to go home and we get another opportunity.
Is there anything defensively you feel like needs to change from the first 2 games? How do you feel?
On our end, defensively?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I mean, I'm sure Coach will adjust and, you know, give us a game plan that, you know, I feel like he maybe found some things today that worked that we can do a little bit more often. So we'll figure it out.
I'm sorry. What did the Thunder do better than other teams, do you think?
Say it again?
What did the Thunder do better than other teams? What particular challenges did they present?
What do they do?
Yeah.
I mean, they force turnovers, they swarm the ball on defense, stuff like that. So, I mean, they're extremely physical on that end, and it's a different kind of physicality. But I mean, they're very connected on the defensive end, you know, which is great. It's a great challenge for us, you know, a chance for us to, you know, really test ourselves and, you know, see how we can meet that challenge.
When you lose 2 games in similar fashion in terms of missed shots, third quarter gets away from you, and points off turnovers, is there any solace in just knowing that you have the recognition going into the next game of, like, these are the problem areas, and if we address it, it should be a different type of outcome?
Yeah, I mean, I think we know what the problem is with certain things, but I also think you know, we found some things that were successful today, some things that work. So we know what the game plan is as a team. We just got to execute it at a higher rate, you know, for a full 48 minutes. You know, it can't be 36 and a little spell because that's kind of where they get you. So we got to execute it for a full 48 minutes.
Julius, when you said a different kind of physicality, what do you mean?
I mean, they're just handsy, man. You know, a lot of swipes and all that different type of stuff, but it's fine.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that basically what the third quarter stuff with Lou was? With the 2 of you going back and forth?
Sure. I don't even really remember what you're talking about, to be honest with you, man. But I mean, it's a little bit of everybody. It's all over the place, but it's fine, man. You know, I accept the challenge. I'll meet it and regroup and get ready for the next game.
Thanks, Julius.
Third quarters again. Are you seeing anything similarities between the two? Why it got away in those spots?
I think it's like 2-3 possessions in a row where they, you know, really amp up the pressure a little bit. We get out of sorts offensively. We don't really get anything accomplished on the offensive end. They get steals or whatever it may be, or long rebounds to outlets to pushing the tempo and getting out in transition. You know, we got to be able to weather that storm a little bit better. You know, the adversity part of it has been challenging, but you got to find a way to limit them from turning a 1 or 2 possession swing into a 3, 4, 5 possession swing where, you know, it gets out of hand.
Is that a settled offensive possession, or what's the solution there?
I think a lot of it is settling in on offense, finding a set or two that bodes well for those guys that are on the floor, those 5 on the floor, that can get us into something really good, something that gets us downhill and not, you know, on the perimeter just trying to, you know, pass the ball back and forth and get late into the shot clock.
Like the
you
old
guys are shooting not well at all from three. Is it mostly kind of just a little funk here, or or the way they are closing out on you, is that affecting kind of the shots?
Yeah, give them a lot of credit. They're making it tough on us for sure. We're getting some good looks here and there, but even when you've had guys flying at you 9 times out of 10, when you get the 10th one to finally get a good one, you can rush it. You can feel like you need to move a little bit quicker sometimes. So give them a lot of credit. We just got to be better.
Like the old saying says, the series doesn't start until somebody loses at home. Is that kind of what you have to hang on to as you head back home to Minnesota?
It is. They took care of business. They did what they came out to do, take care of home court, and now we have to do the same. Game three's the most important one. We got to be locked in and give ourselves a chance to turn the series around.
Mike, obviously so much of your guys' offense is like a concept-based offense. You play it through the flow. Is the answer for the offense getting more into that, or is it because of the way they guard, having more defensive structure or offensive structure?
Yeah, offensive structure. Yeah, we need to have a little bit better structure when times get tougher. I think we still need to play with pace, play with speed. I think that group that was in the game, end of the third, early fourth, late fourth was playing with a little bit more pace, playing with a little bit more downhill tempo. We can play that way and not turn it over. I think it just allows us to play it at a more comfortable pace. But when things don't go our way, that's when we have to revert back to 2 or 3 things that we know we can handle offensively, and everybody can run correctly.
Defensively, what has to change to keep their guys from getting in that 10 to 14 foot range that they are so comfortable in?
We have to do just a better job of contesting that. I think we're trying to take away a lot of things. They do a great job of getting into those spots that Shea is one of the best in the world to get to his spot and rise up. But our bigs got to be up. Our guards got to be ready to switch stuff to where you take away the midi. It's no longer one of those we'll settle for a mid-range shot type series. You can't give that up to these guys. These guys make that shot. So, Rudy's got to contest it. Nas, myself, whoever's in that position to be in that position to contest, we have to do it.
Jaden talked about a formula in the fourth that was successful, and obviously had that comeback win earlier this year of giving the ball out of Shea's hands, getting stops, getting out transition. How do you guys play that style of brand if that's the most effective way with bigger lineups?
It's just got to be. It's almost like a mindset. Like that the groups that do that are just more urgent at that time. We're playing. Like our backs against the wall. We got to come back. We're doing everything we can to get back in the game. That's what that unit, with the bigger lineups have to do. They have to come with that same mindset, and not worry so much about schemes. Not worry so much about being in the right spot or wrong spot. You got to work for it. We got to work for it right now. We got to find ways to push ourselves through it.
Are the corner threes more open than the other break threes? I mean, that's been their tradition. Do you feel like that, working for corner threes is the best way to go in that respect?
Yeah, they give that up. That's one thing they do give up is the corner three. We just have to find it. We have to find it and make it. And we get our opportunities. We got to be ready to shoot it. All of us, obviously, we've had a rough couple games shooting. But guys got to stay confident. We're right there.
Is a better way to do it skip pass or to drive to the hoop?
I like to drive. I think if driving, we can get a body in the paint. It forces them to have to help, forces them to put bodies in the paint, and then it allows us to, whether we want to skip it or same side, strong corner, they sometimes help off of that too. So just finding them when you can.
Seems like you were getting a lot of that when you guys are playing to the post. It seems like you just played to the post more in this game, not just Julius and Nas, but Ant too. Do you feel like that helped? Was a positive?
Yeah, I thought we did a great job with that. I thought Julius did a good job. Ant was playing quicker, in that post situation. He was getting downhill, right when he catches the ball, trying to make a move, and then finding guys. So if we can get our spacing right with that, it's another way we can just kind of make our life a little bit easier.
Mike, what was the message from benching here immediately after the game? Just try to galvanize you guys to just turn the page to game 3.
Basically they took care of their home court. Now we have to tonight was a game where we might have found a couple things later in the game that can work. You're always searching for something that can work against these guys, and maybe we can take that momentum into game 3 and be ready to go.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah.
One where third quarter they seem to pull away. Just what do you feel is happening coming out of the break that's allowing them to kind of get control of things?
Sense of urgency. I think whatever adjustments they're looking at in that first half, like when everyone goes back, I'm sure every team watches film, they say this is what we're doing well, this is what we need to touch up on. I think they have that sense of urgency to make those changes, and they're playing 12 minutes at a time. They're playing all 4 quarters throughout this postseason, and I would say throughout the season, we have been able to wear teams down to where we put them away at times. This is a team, and you can see by their record, where you're not going to put them away, and you kind of got to play 4 rounds at a time. If it's a knockout, it's going to be a TKO, and so I think that's the main difference.
Are the three-point shooting struggles for the team as a whole, is that more what they're doing defensively to make you guys uncomfortable? Is it just missing shots you normally make? What do you see there?
These are open shots. They're open shots. We got to make open shots. And I have faith that we will. Whether that's more repetition, I know we have workers on the team, so they're going to work to making sure that they're prepared. Last game, I missed shots. So for me, it was a focus on really owning in on my principles, my base, all the stuff that I tell myself, good wrist and so forth. And so I think the main thing out of all of this and the big takeaway was that fourth quarter. And we made shots, yes, but I think because we played with pace, that's the reason why.
Nickeil, in that, in the first game, you guys did a really good job of running them off the three-point line, and, I believe it led to a season low in three-point attempts for them. And the same thing kind of in this game, a little bit more, but you guys have, held them to shoot, below 50% from the three-point line in this series. But it seems like, their two-pointers is where they're really starting to get, going towards the basket. How do you, kind of balance that, kind of funneling them into the rim, but it seems like, they're not missing any mid-ranges. How do you kind of balance that,
Finishing up possessions defensively, making sure that once we run them off the line, staying in the drive, passing it over to the next guy, low man rotation being there. We had some fouls that had led to free throws or and ones because we weren't there early. The job, is not going to – we won't get stops if we're playing defense 90%. If we're not making that last rotation, if we don't box out to get the rebound. Like I mentioned earlier, because they're so disciplined in the small details, we have to match that. I think in the fourth quarter we matched that. We flew around. The rotations were there. We forced some shot clock violations. They missed the mid-range shots that they were making in that first half. And I think that just boils down to matching that intensity and bringing another level like they do in the third quarter.
Nickeil, this is really the first game all postseason that Julius has struggled. What did you make of his night, and what does it make you recognize how consistent he has been prior to tonight?
For sure, and I'm not bothered. I'm not going to bat an eye at it. I know Julius. I know he's going to come in and work. I know that as a competitor, his blood's boiling, and he's going to come back the next game ready to go. We're going to be at home. We're going to have the comfort of sleeping in our own beds and having an opportunity to play in front of our home crowd, have them behind us, and just another chance to compete. I'm not worried about Julius. I know that he's a great player, and I know right now he's telling himself he's going to be ready for the next game.
Nickeil, you say you were talking about playing with pace. One of the ways you were doing that is taking the ball and just going right to the cup as much as you could, and other players were kind of doing that too. Is that one of the things, either getting post-ups early down in the paint, or either, just kind of avoiding that swing while you're surveying the defense in the first 5 or 6 seconds of the half-court defense? Offense, is that what you need to do, is put the pace into getting to the paint and then kicking to the corners?
I think so. I think the main theme kind of just leans back to matching that intensity. They're a very aggressive team on both ends of the floor. They play very hard. And so we can't rely on just our talent to get us to what we need to in this series. We got to put pace into the game in the fourth quarter. I think that's when we felt more life, and you can kind of even hear it in the building. There's parts in that second quarter as well when we made that run. Putting pace into the game for us and being aggressive with the talent that we have, it helps us. Now it opens up so much for Ant. It opens up so much for Julius, Nas, Dante. Mike was making shots behind screens. Rudy puts pressure on the rim as a roller, draws guys in. But just playing with pace and bringing life and energy, it's hard to do anything slow. It's easier to guard. You got to get them moving, get them flying around, put them in rotations.
Are these third quarter runs the last two games, are they happening so fast that you almost don't realize, it's a 6-point game, it's an 8-point game, and before you even have a chance to make an adjustment, all of a sudden it's 17-19. Is it just happening that it's so fast you almost don't have a chance to make that adjustment?
I would say that it doesn't feel like it's happening fast, because if you look at it, there's like 30 seconds left. We're down 3 to take it to half with a chance to tie or cut it to 1. We maybe turn it over and missed. Next thing you know, we're down 8. So those are the small things that when you look back at it and you say, like, oh, the run's happening fast and they're up 17, it's because we had a chance to be down 3, down 1. They maybe don't score. Maybe we get, if it was a 2-for-1 at the time, maybe we do score twice and they don't. And now you're looking at us having a lead. So when they do have those third quarter runs, it's not 8-17. It's 3-9. It's tie game to 7. And those things are now within reach, where when you fight back and you give yourself life and you score, stop, score, you're down 4, you're down 2. It's a one-possession game. Now you're putting more pressure on them, and they can feel that. But when you get to 17 and it's an 11-point game, they still kind of don't have that pressure on them. And so I think it's just about closing quarters better and weathering their storms a little bit better. It's going to come back to the details, especially in the Western Conference Finals.
Nickeil, you talked about just kind of the effort that it requires to beat this team. That if it's going to be a knockout, it's going to be a TKO. Is there anything that you or this team can draw on from this season or last postseason about the amount of energy, effort, focus to reach that level to knock these guys off?
I think there's no other feeling than losing last year, getting so close to lose. I think that's my biggest memory. And as a competitor, losing has to be something that's got to motivate you, if anything. Wanting to win, to play together, to achieve something that you never achieved before. And this is a great group, and I believe in this group. I feel like we have what it takes. So it will be a huge disappointment if we don't bring that competitiveness to try to win.
Nickeil, you guys have won the minutes that Mike Conley's been on the floor by 19 points in this series, and lost the minutes he's been off the floor by 60. Why do you think that is?
Mike's the glue guy. Very smart. Gets us into our sets. He's not frantic. He's been here so many times. He understands what it takes. And just the lineups and the way Mike's been making plays off the pick and roll has been a threat that has helped us.
Nickeil, some of the things you guys have done most successfully against the Thunder team really this year, getting up and down, playing with a lot of pace, and blitzing Shea at the top of the court to get the ball out of his hands and switch coverages. Are those things you guys can do with your big lineups, or how are you able to play with some of those same aspects with your bigger lineups on the court?
All 5 got to be on a string, got to be connected. Against a player like him, he's going to be aggressive. He's going to get to his ankles, get to his spots. The more bodies we're able to throw at him, fly around in rotations, I think that will help us, especially when he gets to angle at bigs, bumps them. Now they're trying to play in the recovery space, and that's exactly what he wants. Trying to draw a foul, trying to bump, get to a spot. So shrinking the floor a little bit better, rotating a little bit better, not getting hit by screens, staying connected as much as we can in that drive to kind of east-west him more than north-south.